Hey guys, Melinda with Primrose and Pearl Bath Products here. Today I am making a cold process soap, and in this video you will see that pretty much anything that could go wrong did go wrong. First, I am pouring my lye water solution into my melted oils and butters, and there is a blend of olive oil, palm oil, cocoa butter, sweet almond oil, avocado oil, and I forgot to add my kaolin clay when I first stirred my oils together. Normally I like to put my kaolin clay in before I put my lye water solution in. That way I give a chance for my kaolin clay to kind of, it's not going to dissolve, but start soaking in a little bit of that oil and breaking up, and it just makes it easier to blend so that you're not getting big clumps of kaolin clay in your finished product. Here I am using my stick blender to incorporate everything together. For the pour that I'm doing, I wanted to have a really light emulsion, so not completely blended together where it was already getting thick, but just to like a barely to trace. I'm talking barely to trace. What I was trying to do for this soap was to do 3 different layers with a mica line in between them. But once we get to the fragrance oil part is where it definitely started to go wrong. Right now I am measuring out for my first layer, so I had done math based off of my full batch, divided it by 3 because that's how many layers I wanted. So here's the first color that I'm doing. My 7-year-old actually designed this one, so I laid out a bunch of fragrance oils for her to smell and to pick one from. She picked one called Day Spa from Indigo Fragrance. And after she smelled it, I told her to think of the color that reminded her of this smell. And she decided on pink. So we got out a bunch of pink micas. She picked out 3. She said she wanted gold incorporated, and I kind of took it from there. So she picked 3 different shades of the pink, and then I decided the gold could go in between as the mica line. I never worked with this fragrance oil before, which is not necessarily a good idea when you're also trying to do, I wouldn't say a super intricate pour, but I mean definitely more than just a straight pour when you're trying to do layers, right? So I poured the fragrance oil in and it immediately riced. And if I would have tested the fragrance beforehand, I would have known that I should fully blend my color in first before just adding the fragrance oil and then adding the color afterwards and then having to deal with the ricing. So I took my stick blender back to it to break up some of the clumps that happens from the ricing. And at first I wanted to do a tilted layered soap. I was thinking that would look really cool to have it be sort of at different angles for each layer, but after the ricing happened and I took the stick blender back to it and I was frantically trying to get it in the mold, I decided that just was not going to work. My batter here, you can see, has already super thickened up. So I'm scraping everything out of my first layers container that I had mixed into, and I'm just trying desperately at this point to get it into the mold. Scraping everything off once again. And then I'm texturing. So it took a second. I tried to slam my mold against the table a little bit to try and get out any air bubbles, and decided that I would texture in between the layers instead, since I couldn't do that slant pour that I had been planning on doing. So I'm going in here with just a plain old measuring spoon, trying to make it just a funky texture and, you know, help give that mica more kind of cracks and crevices to be in. And then I'm taking just a wire mesh sieve and some gold mica. I had a smaller sieve, but my kids broke it. So sometimes you just got to use what you got, and this is what I had at the moment. So I'm lightly tapping the side of that sieve just to get the mica to go down and in. And I really started panicking in the middle of making this soap. So my soap making got messier and messier, I think, as I went on, just because I was really concerned about getting all of the soap into the molds. This is my second layer I'm pouring, so this is that middle light color. At this point I had figured out to put the mica in first. So I always disperse my micas in a little bit of oil before I blend. You don't have to do it that way, but again, it does help with any clumpingness of the micas so that you're not getting kind of pockets of straight mica into your finished product. So here I am texturing again, and then I'm going to do another line of mica and then my last layer of soap, and I'm going to play you some nice music while all that happens, and I will be back when it's time to texture the top. I decided for the top on this one I wanted to do a gold swirl to complement the gold mica line on the inside of the soap. So I just took some of that gold mica and I kind of tried to make somewhat of a straight line, but it didn't really work out because I was just using a measuring spoon. Once I have all my mica laid out on the top of the soap, I'm going to come in with the back of a paintbrush and swirl that throughout the top of the soap. My gold swirled in, and I tapped my mold again just to try and get any more air bubbles out of the top after I had swirled it. I decided that we needed some extra glitter on the top of the soap just because it was for my 7-year-old and she loves glitter. So I took some hollow glitter from Mad Micas, and this is the biodegradable one, and a regular makeup brush, and I'm just tapping the side of that makeup brush to dust that hollow glitter over the top. And there was a really quick shot of what it looked like wet. The lighting gets really bad here while I'm cutting the soap loaf, so I'm really sorry about that. I was just feeling too lazy to set up all of my lighting in the studio at that point. It was also pretty late at night. So here is the first cut of the soap. And it turned out a lot better than I thought, considering all the problems that I had with it. I really thought it was going to be a disaster on the inside, and it turned out so cute. Moment of truth. Tell me what you guys think of the soap. Do you like the pink and gold combination or no? Let me know in the comments down below. Thanks for watching.